Hey, you guys, welcome to Recon. It is Friday, the end of the week, but it's not the end of practice. What we're going to do today is on a Friday free for all is we're going to have a composite of the four conversations we've been working on this week, and they're in the chat. So if you have access to that, you can look at the chat. If you're watching on a recording, you don't see the chat. They're right behind me. So let's listen. Let's see how we've progressed this week because these are the same four conversations that we had Monday through Thursday. So welcome, Matt. Welcome, Kelly. Kelly, I guess, is going to be managing the control tower. If you want to participate, go ahead and just raise your hand inside the chat. Let Kelly know, and we'll and pick which one you want, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So who's ready to go, Kelly?
Well, we have Ellie with Kelly. Which one
All
would you
right.
like to go with,
Number
Ellie?
four. Number
Number
four.
four. All right. Ring ring.
Hello, this is Elitatwe Keller Williams. Whom do I have the pleasure speaking with?
My name's Kelly.
Nice to meet you, Kelly. What can I do for you?
Well, I want to sell my home, so let me ask you, do you believe in staging?
That's a great question. Depends.
What do you mean
That
it depends?
depends. I will, first of all, we need to know more about your property if that's okay with you. So, when it's a good time to come by and take a look at the property?
I'm not really interested in that. I'm just gonna call someone else. Thanks, Ellie.
All right.
Fine.
You sure?
I'm
Are you
curious.
sure? Really?
Hang on. Why did you hang up on her?
Well, because she just said she wanted to come by my house and see what's going on. So I was like, well, I didn't really ask that. So
That was not
Correct.
a normal response. I don't
I've
think.
had I've had that before. I have had it before where they call me, they ask me a specific question. I close for an appointment, which is exactly what Ellie did. And they said, "No, we don't want that." And they completely brushed me off.
So let me rephrase this because Kelly, would you agree that by me knowing in what condition your property is, I can advise you properly if this is the path that you would like
Too
to
many too
take?
many words.
All right,
Okay.
wait. Well, this first one, we'll keep going. First of all, I want to give you a knuckle bump. This week, when we practiced this, there were people that answered the phone, hello.
Hmm.
So at least she identified herself, and that's progress. Next is, okay, you want to get the name, and hey, in case we get disconnected, get the number. That's probably a procedure to follow. Now,
Correct.
if they're calling you, you'll probably get it. But however, if he hangs up on that statement, do you wish you had the number?
No.
Yeah.
For, for,
The other thing though, Matt, is you probably have had it, and I'm going to quote you chapter and verse. If they hang up on that, they probably weren't that serious anyway.
Yep. Yep. That's why he said, "Would you really want the number?" I said, "No, because I don't care. If they hang up on that, next.
So
They weren't
Ellie, you
real."
started out much better. All right.
correct.
And you just had
Thank
a ringer. All right. So then go ahead, Matt. You're going to handle this one. Who you with?
I'm with Robert Reneker, Unique, New York. Which one are we doing?
Let's do the crud. Let's do
Be ready.
sorry, I apologize. Let's do the
Number 4 it is. All
yep,
right.
yeah, let's do it.
All
I apologize. I,
right.
I didn't realize I was on the list there, so
That's okay. No
that's
worries.
my bad.
All right, hold
Go.
on. Who does anybody have the timer? Because I was running it.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, cool. All right. So a ring ring.
Your story realty. This is Robert.
Hey, Robert. My name's Matthew. I got a pretty nice home in the area, and I want to sell it. But I need to know before we go any further. Do you believe in staging?
Well, let's start off here, Matthew. Do you have a number I can call you back in case we get disconnected?
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3.
Marvelous, marvelous. And Matthew, I'm sorry, what was your last name?
It's sharp like a knife.
Very good, very good. Okay. And again, I'm Robert Reneker, so you know. So Matthew, let me ask you, what is your thoughts on staging?
Well, I mean, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I'd rather not if I don't have to. I mean, do you believe that we have to get to get the home sold?
Well, my question to you would be, Matthew, is are you looking to
That was whoa. That we worked on that. Matt and I repeated that like 5 times. Do you have to stage your home to sell it?
That was my next question. My next question is that, which is what Matthew told us yesterday was, are you looking to just get the home sold, or are you looking to get the most amount of money out of it?
That would be the second piece.
Yes,
That's
the
the
first piece is you've got to answer his question. What would
Okay.
that answer be?
You got it,
No.
Robert. All right, I'll tell you. So the answer would be. So I asked, do you believe I need to do this to get the home sold? And I might not have exactly said those words, but paraphrase. Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You don't have to do anything to get the home sold. But let me ask you this. Go back
Okay.
in.
Very good. All right. So absolutely not. So the question would be next question would be are you just looking to get the home sold, or are you looking to get the most amount of money out of it?
Well, I'd like the most amount of money out of it. I mean, but what's the difference?
Well, I mean, first impressions can dictate whether or not somebody makes us an offer, or whether or not we end up getting multiple offers, which allows us to negotiate the highest price possible. So the question just is that, how much money would be too much money for you to spend if we decided we needed to do some staging?
Well, when you say staging, though, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, staging can be anything from us picking up the dirty towels in the house to, bringing in alternate furniture.
Just a little feedback on that is that on that question, I would have said, well, that's a great question. You're the one who brought up staging. What does staging mean to you?
Yep, that was the interviewee interviewing the interviewer. I did it on purpose because I was hoping that you would say, well, if I got to push back a little bit, Matthew, you asked me what I felt about or if I believed in staging, but give me your definition so that we can get on the same page.
Okay.
And whenever they ask you questions, and we'll move on to the next one really quickly, whenever they ask you questions and nobody has set the table by defining the word, whatever that word is, get the definition before you go any further. Find out what they define it as, because otherwise you're having a conversation that you know nothing about.
So a key point in this role play, I want everyone to notice, go back to what we on the second go around on the mulligan. When they asked the question, do we have to stage to sell? I know we're teaching you to get clarify it. However, you can't always go back with a question without at least answering something. And then that's what Matt did. He said, well, absolutely not. It really depends it depends on your situation. It depends on if you wanted to sell it fast or you don't care about what you net. There's a lot of factors. I mean, so at least you've answered. Got it? Okay. So who's next, Kelly? They're with me.
Next,
Michelle.
we have Michelle Lewis with you.
Michelle, which one?
I'm number 3.
Okay. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Michelle with eXp Realty.
Hey, Michelle, this is Denny. We spent some time yesterday. Thanks for showing me the homes yesterday. I enjoyed meeting you. However, we already have a friend in real estate if we decide to buy. So I just wanted to let you know.
It was a pleasure meeting you as well, Denny. And shame on me, I completely missed there was a we involved. Who else is involved in your home search?
My SO.
I'm sorry. Oh, your SO. And Denny, I was curious also just to see, you called me in your home search. Why didn't you call your friend?
Well, they're out of town right now.
They're out of town, I see. And when are you expecting them to return?
I would expect they're going to be back. Let's see, what is today? Friday. They're going to be back on Monday.
on Monday. And Denny, just curious, I mean, if you were to find something tomorrow and you really want to potentially move on it, how is your friend going to help you?
Well, I figured that I would maybe call the listing agent and they would show it to me. And then Monday's just around the corner.
Calling the listing agent is an option, and at the same time, what if that listing agent is unable to help you then?
Well, I can't get, I mean, I need the listing agent to get into the house. So I mean, I have that for me to have any showing, I would need the cooperation of the listing agent.
Okay, and is it an option possibly that the listing agent may not be able to represent you properly in purchasing the home?
Okay.
Going down
Now,
going down the wrong path.
yeah,
I
now
know.
you're grasping at straws right there. Although I can tell you, Michelle, that the beginning of that call was light years better than the beginning of the call before we practiced this during the week, right?
Okay.
And you use some of the basic questions, like, for example, where, you say where is your agent, blah blah blah. The one thing I'll add, and again, I was attempting to be the role play and then make mental notes, is you went to paint, which is I think a good thing. It's like, okay, so what happens if you see a house, whatever, this weekend? I would have made it a little bit more like, okay, so what if, and I would probably say perfect here. Or what if an amazing, perfect house showed up before your friend got back? What would you do? You actually made me stop to think a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is put a little fear of loss in them. And it would work if the other agent maybe had a part-time job. What happens if basically you find the amazing a home that's available, but your friend's not able to help you? What's your plan, Matt?
Yeah, what if a home that checked all the boxes came on the market tomorrow? Really hot property, and it's clear to everybody that it is. Your friend's not in town. What do you do? But where I would have differentiated a little bit, Michelle, you asked where the friend was. He said he's out of town. When's he coming back? That's good. He's coming back on Monday, I guess. I'd say, well, so here's one of my deflection questions, or disarming, whatever we call it. I would ask him, well, have you signed any commitment paperwork with the friend? And he would say no. Remember, it's just a deflection. Okay. Denny, how often does your friend go out of town? Because what is, you see what I mean, Denny?
Yeah.
Just how often he's out of town? Oh, well, he's a fishing charter captain. I've heard that so many times in our area. Every part-time realtor is a freaking fishing charter captain.
And they drive for Uber.
It's nuts. So then you could have gone to the pain of, oh, okay. So he's gone quite a bit. Denny, can I ask you a very direct question? And you know that it comes from a place of compassion. What happens if a really hot property comes on the market that checks all your boxes in every way, shape, or form, and your friend's got to leave on a 3-hour tour or a 3-day tour tonight? How do they step in and represent your best interests?
Right.
Yep.
And the conversation can go, your friend, okay, would you be using that particular person as your real estate agent if they weren't your friend? We've had that conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, improvement, Michelle. You're very inquisitive. You were in curiosity on the phone. Nice job. Next, Kelly.
Next, we have Susan with me.
All right. Just quickly, my internet keeps cutting in and out, so if I lose you.
Kill the video.
All right. And I'll go with number 2. I wasn't here for this one, but I'll try it.
All right. All right, here we go. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Susan with Denny Grimes' team. How can I help you?
Yeah. Hey, we've looked at houses together, and I've boiled my choice to 3 homes. So do your research and tell me which seller will give me the best deal, and I will offer on that one.
All right, this is Kelly, right?
Yes.
Perfect, Kelly. I'm glad that you enjoyed our home search, and I'm really happy to hear that you found three that you like. Can you tell me real quick, what is what's your definition of the best deal?
The one where I can get the cheapest price.
Are you looking for the cheapest house, or are you looking for the best net deal on your perfect house?
I would say the best net deal on the perfect house.
Okay. So I guess then I need to ask you, what makes the house your perfect house?
Well, the three houses that we've boiled it down to, we could see ourselves living in either one of them.
All right, well, all three of those homes are vastly different. So what is it about each
Susan, you're doing
home?
great. Let me just say it does not matter. He's
Okay.
picked the three homes. So the heavy lifting is over as far as criteria. But you're going down the right trail, getting definition of terms. So don't go into criteria. He's picked the three homes, which is great.
Okay.
But don't try to talk him out of it, any of them.
And,
All right.
and you've got him on the fact you've got him up against the ropes because he's saying the best net deal. What does that mean?
Okay, so Kelly, what does that mean to you, the best net deal?
Well, that means, one that's within the budget that you and I spoke about. And, if we can get it closed within a certain amount of time, we'll do it.
Okay, what if all three of those? What if I can get the best net deal that's equivalent in all three of those?
That's a great question. Then we would probably like option A.
Option A? Okay, so why don't we just work on getting the best net deal on option A?
Time. Here's my 2 cents, Matt. Again, you're really good, Susan. She's on my team and she's been on these a number of times, and she didn't have the benefit of the practice this week. So a little of that conversation went a little bit sideways because he mentioned affordable. I would have said, well, you pick these three. I'm assuming all of these meet the affordability criteria. Would that be accurate? And this didn't come up in practice, Matt. I might say, well, okay, best net deal. If we're talking about that, we've defined that. Ideally, of the three, where would you want to start? If you could pick a winner, what seller do you hope would give you the best net deal? What I'm trying to do is have him rank order the three to give me some sort of insight who has the front running, who has the inside lane, Matt.
Yeah, and that's we kind of asked that question when we were practicing this. It's so if all the numbers were the same, which one would you prefer? If at the end of the day, if the bottom line was exactly the same, which one would you choose? Now, when you said, well, what does that look like to you? I want him to give me a little more information, Susan, and everybody else. But then I also want I want to create some doubt. And I don't know really where I would go from there, but I want to create some doubt. So, Kelly, how will you know in your heart of hearts you got the best deal? How are you going to determine that you've arrived? And then, depending on his answer, that's going to dictate where I take the conversation. And it's probably going to go to what Denny talked about, which is, so if you had your druthers, which is a word I like, druthers. If you had your druthers, which one would it be if everything was the same? That's all.
Yeah, we're kind of beyond it. If this first time you heard this conversation, if you decide to do some sort of CMA, I just want you to put yourself in a cold plunge for an hour.
Yes. If your gut reaction when people give you a scenario like this is to I just had this, and I'm not going to waste time talking about it today. We'll talk about it on Mastery. I just had this with a condo on Anna Maria Island. The client does the same thing to me every time, and every time I put them back in their corner. But if your gut reaction is to run to start crunching numbers and what's it worth, just Walmart's hiring. I assure you.
Right. To tell the buyer what the best deal is like telling a seller what the property is going to sell for. There's no amount of research that would give you that information. So if a buyer wants to buy a house, don't be spending hours on our CMA. Anyway, Susan, nice job. I like I particularly want to give you a shout out when you mentioned cheapest price or best net deal. You had to break that down. You didn't stop at cheapest price. So nice job on that. Okay, Kelly, who's next with Matt?
Next, we have Debbie Teeter with Matt.
Oh,
Okay, I had actually chosen number 2 also, so I don't know if you want to.
That's
let's
all right.
do it.
Okay, all right, let's go.
All right. I've Debbie, I got good news and bad news. Which would you like first?
What's that, Matt?
Well, I've you showed me 40 properties, and I've boiled my choice down to 3 homes. So I'd like you to do your research and tell me which seller will ultimately give me the best deal, and we'll make an offer on that one.
Okay, well, it's awesome that you've narrowed it down to 3 homes, but I'm just curious, after looking at over 40 homes, what is it about these 3 that specifically stood out to you?
Does it matter?
I guess not. Okay. All right. So, Matt, what does the best deal look like to you?
Well, all the homes are relatively the same, so it just comes down to, I mean, which one we can get for the best price.
Okay. So price is the only criteria we're looking at right now then?
Yeah, I mean, tomato, they're all relatively the same. So I'd be just as happy in any of them. It's really going to come down to bottom line, money out of my pocket.
Okay, I understand. So, so if you had a choice, and which one would you choose out of those 3? Which one would you want to make the offer on?
I
All
really,
things being
it doesn't matter which one. I'd be just as happy in any of these. I'm a simple man. I could live under an overpass and a tarp.
okay. Well, I will call the listing agent and see what we can do to get you the home with the best price.
This will be good, Matt. All right. Call me. I'm the listing agent on door number 1. Call me, Debbie.
Okay. Hey there, Denny. We have an offer, or we have a potential offer here on a home, and I'm curious, what the seller is looking for.
Well, when I talked to them last night, they would probably still accept full price.
Okay. So, would the seller do you think the seller would be willing to take anything less than that?
I've learned never to speak for a seller. All right, hang up. Call Matt. He's Matt's door number 2.
Okay.
Come on.
Hey, Matt, I just spoke to the listing agent and
No, I'm the listing agent on door number 2.
Okay.
We're putting you through the trial by fire, guys. So please learn from this. Go ahead, Debbie.
Okay, I have a client that's very interested in the home and would really like to get the best price possible. So how
Would
do you
they like
think
to make an offer?
Yes, we would like to make an offer.
Put it in writing.
Okay. All right. We will do
Quick.
that.
Call Kelly. He's door number 3.
Guys, this is good.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, I have a client that's really interested in your home and would like to make an offer. Would your client would you be interested in anything less than full price? Than a full price offer?
I would just
Would you-
say write up your offer and send it over to me.
Now, I tell you what, now here's the other thing. You're going to find an agent. Now Kelly wouldn't do this, but they're going to find an agent that, well, I tell you what, it's listed for $495. Yeah, I bet they'd take $450. Now you're going to have an agent tell you that. Here's Matt and I are just like beaming right now. If you have a drawer with paper clips in it, you would be more productive to go grab those paper clips and polish them and arrange them in order than go through that whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get me on that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
Yes.
total waste of time for you to do that.
Right. And Debbie, I really
I'm just
appreciate you.
fumbling. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get this thought out
Sure.
and completely. Let me get this thought out completely.
Okay.
Debbie, I appreciate you using the words that you used, which were, I'm going to call the listing agents, because then that's what puts you into the exercise we just put you through. And most other realtors would do that. They would say exactly what you said. But then when you find listing agents like Denny and I and Kelly and anybody, any real listing agent worth their salt is just going to say, put it in writing, send it,
Right.
or they'll accept full price. Now, again, let me get this thought out completely, because then you asked Kelly, do you think that they would take anything less than list price? Do you think, to Denny's point, I don't think for the seller. I had a buyer's agent make an offer on one of my listings in Valrico yesterday or the day before. And I don't use the as-is contract. I use the standard. And I explained to him the seller's not going to consider the as-is. If you're not familiar with it or your client's not, let me know. We'll happily go over it with you so you feel comfortable. His reply back to me was blah, 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 blah. I am 100% comfortable with the as-is. And then I reply back, it has nothing to do with what you're comfortable with. It's what your client is comfortable with. This is directly applicable to that scenario. It doesn't matter what the agent thinks. So, long story short,
Correct.
Debbie, I got good. You're the buyer now. Debbie, I got great news for you.
Okay. What's that?
You want to find the best deal on one of these homes, right?
Yeah, sure do, Matt.
There's a really easy way to figure out what the best deal is on all three of them, frankly. You ready?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's put it in writing and send it.
Right. Right. Yeah, we had discussed that this week.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best way to find out what the best deal is.
Right.
So really fast.
Yeah, got it.
We move on. Susan, we'll let you be that in just a second. We may be a few minutes over. We won't have
Mhm.
overtime today. I do want to share a couple different things. Number one, today's mastery will be at 1 to 2. Today's mastery will be the last time mastery is on Friday, 1 to 2, because we're moving the recon schedule. Monday through Thursday, we're going to have our 30 minutes, 9:30 to 10 Eastern time. Then on Friday, mastery is moving into the mastery slot for an hour.
Right.
So if you time block, so you can have, if you can make the mastery, it'll be a little bit different than recon. It won't be just an hour of recon, but there'll be role play, and Matt and I will spend a little bit more time going into the mastery level concepts. But that will be from 9:30 to 10:30. One thing I'll say really fast, it made me think of this, Matt. We didn't really talk about it this week when we were talking about this scenario. When you go to the wording of the scenario, I didn't notice this at first. Which seller will give me the best deal? Now, there is a way that we didn't talk about that would increase the odds of finding out which seller would give the best deal. Does anybody know what that would be?
Longest days on market.
No, well, maybe. Matt, you're the agent. And this may or may not work. Matt, Matt is he spends his life in a cold plunge, so he may not be very cooperative. So Matt, I'm calling you. You are one of the 3 listing agents. Ring,
Yep.
ring.
Hello, this is Matthew. I sell real estate.
Hey, Matthew, Denny at KW. Good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. Listen, I've got a guy that's kind of narrowed down to 3 different homes. And he's looking for a deal like anybody else. So without giving away the store, now I know who Matt is. I know his reputation. Some agents would just gush.
Mhm.
I guess maybe the best way to find out the answer is question, so we can start with it because he's indifferent on door number 1, 2, or 3.
Mhm.
How motivated are your people?
Mm.
I mean, they're on the market, so they better be motivated.
Now, motivation will dictate, would be a good indication of where the best deal would be. Now, would you answer my question maybe a little differently if I came at you like that?
I'm going to be honest, not me. I'm a prick.
Would the majority of the agents answer?
Yes, 99, anybody else but me would. But when the M word to me, guys, and this is good teaching. This is really good coaching. The M word to me as a listing agent, you might as well have called me an MFer, because the M word to me is you're asking me to compromise my client's bargaining position. That's me, guys. So when you ask me that, I just ask, well, when they say how motivated is your client? Well, how motivated is your buyer? I turn it right back on them.
Yeah, I picked the wrong guy, but most of the time, you guys, if you want to find out who's the most likely to give the best quote deal, whatever that is, most likely it would be the most motivated. If you can
Right.
find that out, that would be worthwhile. Susan, all right, you're calling me. Go. Door number 1.
Hey, Denny, this is Susan with XYZ Company, and I'm calling because my client is interested in the property over on ABC Street. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to write you an offer, and I want to write a very clean one. What is the absolutely bottom line number that your client is willing to take?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question, Susan. I mean, I learned never to speak for a client. So if you're a buyer, I mean, this is going to be like Groundhog Day for you. But if your client is interested, put it in writing. I'll lay it in front of them.
Okay, like I said, I like to write a very clean offer without the back and forth. What would it take for you guys to respond to my offer?
You can change the words around as much as you want. I will never answer it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most agents will. Now, what you ought to do is pick somebody, not Matt or Kelly, because we're already wise to pick somebody else and call them. Everybody's kind of wise to it now, but most of the time agents will bend. Why? Because they want to make a deal and they'll sacrifice their seller on the altar.
Yep. And if I may, I've received calls like that from Susan, exact calls like that. And Susan, I say this with love, people with personalities like Susan, because Susan can be very abrasive when things are
direct. Direct is a better word.
Direct when things get personal, and they aren't personal, but that's the perception. And the people I've talked to, like with Susan's personality type, they kind of get offended when you don't bend to what they're asking. And I've just said, hey, Susan, I will not ask you to compromise your client's position, nor will I compromise my client's position. The best thing you can do right now is put it in writing. And this isn't personal, Susan. It's not between you. It's not about you and I. But please put the offer in writing. We'll present it.
What's interesting, you guys, when you stop receiving calls like this from other agents, except maybe somebody has just fallen off the turnip truck, that's a compliment to you, mm-hmm. because they know better than to ask you.
Mm-hmm. I
would never call Matt and ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what Susan was doing that was pretty good, and this is something you should do if they're going to between several houses. Let's say that your buyer wanted Matt's house. I would call, hey, Matt, my buyer's interested. He's got 3, and we're trying to figure out what offer first. I want to come in as clean as possible, other than the asking price.
Mm-hmm.
how else would your seller, like this be a hand glove situation with the closing, possession, etc.? Now that would be valuable information, and Matt most likely would give that to me.
I absolutely would answer that. Even as me, being me, I would just say, I appreciate the question. They don't have a time frame they need to close by. The furnishings, blah 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 blah. But I would turn into a gusher at a question like that, because I'm not necessarily in most ways I'm not compromising their position.
You're not. You're actually no. I mean, you're actually deciding to make the eggs the way your seller likes them.
Right.
And if you guys are in a competitive market, you should make the call Susan made.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want it to be I want this to be a hand glove thing. I mean, I'd love to do another transaction with you. So if I were to give you the contract blank, except for the numbers, what should I fill in? A
lot of the deals I did during COVID, guys, like between 2020 and 22, were done like that. I would have 38 offers on a property, but Susan picking up the phone and calling me, I would show her more favor, because she didn't send, because even during COVID, I didn't accept an as-is contract. And I'd get out of my 38 offers on a property, I'd get 27 on an as-is. They didn't even look at my offer instructions. But Susan calling me and asking me, hey, what instrument would you like this on? I'd like it on a standard, Susan. Great. Other than the price, what else is your client looking for? They'd like to close in 30 days. And frankly, if your buyer's welcome to inspect the property, but if you can waive the contingency, that'd be great too. So I would tee it up like that, and then sure enough, if Susan's client was open to it, they'd send me an offer that looked just like that, and we'd accept theirs 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's valuable. That's worth the Susan. I'm glad you brought it up that way. You can press it for most agents, but you would never want to ask me or Matt about the best offer, because you would know better. If somebody called you, let me ask you, we'll go. I have to go anyway. So if somebody called and asked you what's just the best number for your seller, how would you answer it, Susan?
Right. Submit by the best offer that can be.
Isn't that special? See? She wouldn't even answer that question herself.
I knew that'd be the case, and she'd probably add a few expletives too, on the other end.
She'd tell you where to go.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, listen. We have mastery today, 1 to 2 if you can make it. It's live, dennysmastery.com. Did anybody learn something today or this week you'd like to share with us?
Please.
I have one question though before we move on to the next topic. When it comes down to the 3, maybe I missed it. So if somebody says, okay, I've narrowed it down to 3, do you make that call to the 3 listing agents saying, okay, here's my client, or you just pick one?
No, you don't go on a wild goose chase.
Okay.
You don't call the agents. Gregory, I got really good news for you. You've narrowed it down to 3, right?
Yes.
Best way to get the best deal? Let's put it in writing. And we'll determine which of the 3 makes sense.
Somebody has 3 daughters and they're all twins. Think about that. They're triplets. Which one do you want to ask to marry you? They're all just okay. Well, you all right. You would probably think, well, I'll start with Betty Sue. Because what if she says yes, and you might as well go with your first one. Okay, well that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have them choose, unless you want to sell 3 houses. All right, well, use a silly thing. They got twins. Which one do you want to ask out?
Yep. Start with one. Best way to do it. Start with one.
All right, got it. All right, thanks. I thought I missed something there. Like I was.
I got hands up, Melissa and Michelle. I got to go. I got 30 seconds each. Who's first?
Melissa.
I just had a question. I typed it in the chat, but I recently had a transaction and the listing price was around 7.8 million. And the agent called me and said, oh, does your current offer start with a 7? For her, I said yes. But for anyone else who was asking me, oh, will your buyer take this, your seller take this, or your seller take that? I just told them to put it in writing. Should I have handled it differently?
Here's what I would.
Well, hang on. What was the asking price again?
7.8.
7. Oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
Here's what I would do moving forward, Melissa. Depending on your relationship, if Denny called me, Denny and I were like brothers. If Denny called me, I would be a little more candorous with him. However, if it's anybody else, and I still wouldn't compromise my client's bargaining position. If it were anybody else, I'd say, well, it certainly doesn't start with a 6. That's how I would answer it. It certainly doesn't start with a 6.
And at 7.8, 7.8, I would say okay, but if it's 7.1, well, I don't know if it hurts you, but here's the thing: if it's listed for 7.25 and you say no, you just killed the seller.
Right. That's why I said it certainly doesn't start with a 6. And then I let them interpret that however they want.
Okay, it did sell for 7.4.
There you go.
Guys.
Yeah, perfect. Good job.
Michelle, really quick.
I was just going to answer your question, and over this past week, I've learned to listen intently, granularly. Yeah, there you go. And be comfortable with silence. I think Matthew said that on Wednesday.
Yep. Never miss a good opportunity to shut the hell up.
In fact, I'm going to give you all silence here in a minute. I'm going to sign off. How about that? I appreciate you guys. I trust we will see you on Recon. And if not, I'll see you on Monday. Love you.
See you guys.
Be careful out there.